Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of NEPA Story. Joining us today is Amos Valenti, who's the co-owner of the Pittston Ketchup Company, which makes small batch ketchup, sauces, and condiments. Over the years, I love ketchup. I basically put it on everything. Basically, I love ketchup, and this, let's just say, is one of the best ketchups I had, and which I'd never tried that many ketchups, but it's probably my favorite one of all since it's very local. I love this more local thing, so it's definitely most likely my favorite of all the ketchups. But thank you so much for coming on and talk about the Piston Ketchup Company. It's much appreciated.
Well, thanks for having us. We appreciate being here.
Thank you. And so, like, what if anyone doesn't know the process of starting a Piston Ketchup Company? Of course, with Piston, it's a very small town, has a lot of businesses, and is known as the tomato capital of the world, as it's known for. But what was kind of like your process in starting the company?
It's actually the quality tomato capital of the world. That's just, people often say it's the tomato capital, but either way, it's, the process to start that business. We bought 700 bottles and first we had the idea, that's where everything starts, was with an idea. And it just became something that we thought wanted to see if we could do it. So the actual steps of doing it, there's a lot of steps. You have the bottle, you have the cap, you have the little seal on the top that you have to tear off. You have the label, you have the barcode and the UPC, and that's just like all the general things that you need to get. Need to you need a graphic designer, somebody to help you design the logo, the label. And so they're just like the very basic things that you need. But then the steps to do them, you have to set up a business. And of course, you could do all of that through the state. You have to get insurance. You have to talk to the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture. In our case, we don't have to deal with the FDA, but there are certain, regulations that you might have to meet depending on what you're making. So there's a lot of actual things to find out, and there's not really a lot of places that could help you do all of those things. So, we just did a lot of research and looked online and kind of found out one thing at a time, and then just kind of went from there until we knew we had something safe that we could sell to people. And coming up with the recipe too, that was a big part of it. And that was Corey. He's one of us. It's myself, Corey Golden, AJ Sanguadolci, and Chris Carmody, who are the main crew. We also have Angela Greco does our social media. She does our Instagram, Facebook, and stuff like that. Makes all the stuff. And Erin Connors, my lady love and wife, designed our original logo and still continues to design our logos. We had our artwork actually done by a local artist named Eric Hinckley. He's from Clark Summit, but he's down in the Philadelphia area. So, it's just a lot of different pieces to pull together
Mhm.
into something that resembles in a business.
Yeah, like how long was the process in getting this together? Because of course, with having to start a business, it does take so long to kind of grab everything together. And of course, a lot of money to really kind of have to really make the different products and also having people to kind of add these different logos. Like you said, you had a couple of different people help you that are local in like social media and stuff. But how long was the process of getting everything together?
It probably took right around a year or maybe a little over a year, like 14 months of like, you know, uh, pulling those different pieces together before we had a product that we could sell safely in a grocery store. And I say safely only because anybody could make anything and put it into a bottle. But we really wanted to make sure that what we were doing, was going to be safe. Like the last thing you want to, do is somebody gets sick or, those are the initial fears. Like, oh, what if we make it and someone gets sick? What if we do this and this happens? And uh, so it probably took, like I said, maybe 14 months to year-ish time to really get it all together and get it out there.
That's honestly not bad at all because I know with a lot of businesses like or kind of food and beverage related do sometimes take longer than 14 months, because like of course
Um,
with starting a business it can take that much longer than um 14 months.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it could, depending on what you're trying to do or what, it could be much, much quicker. Now that we know all of the steps, if somebody came to us tomorrow and said, hey, we want to put our Grandpappy's barbecue sauce into a bottle, uh, we could do that pretty quick at this point, just because we know all the steps. We know, where to get the bottles and the packaging and we have the right people to be able to do basically anything at this point.
Yeah. And like when you guys started this company, I know with starting a store company like this, especially from a small area in Pennsylvania, it can be very difficult to kind of get the company started most of all and what to do in terms of okay, is Pennsylvanians gonna love this or are they gonna hate this? Like it's always mixed emotions with starting a company here in Pennsylvania. But what was kind of like the hardest part for y'all to kind of start this company?
Um, probably probably just keeping the momentum going, you know, because you get it, you make the product. And again, like I mentioned earlier, we didn't necessarily try to start a business. Then we had this thing, and now we have people calling us for it. We have people using it reliably. And everything was. We normally didn't have a problem getting things, but since COVID, that did change a lot of things in the food business in general. Just like the people talk about the supply chain. So there are things like that actually affect us now more than they ever did. But that's really it, is keeping the momentum going and trying to keep people interested in it. And we don't follow the algorithms and things like that on social media, really because we don't have like a Fortune 500 marketing budget. It costs money to put things out there, to have social media, even just to manage it. Then it takes time. So there's a lot of things like that, and just the momentum. I think is the hardest part of any business. Whether you're starting it, after you create it, you can sit around and come up with ideas all day, but you have to be able to follow through to a certain extent to get them going. That's the biggest challenge.
Yeah, you're right. Because of course, with going back to social media, it like takes literally money for everything. Like, no matter if you want to ad, do you want to promote something? What does it say in the Times Leader or no, like a local TV station or newspaper? You want to put an ad. There's literally always money to promote something in this area. Like always, or even around the world, there's always money to promote a business, no matter
Yeah,
what.
anywhere there's and it costs money. So those things, then it's like, you know we also need that same money to continue to buy the supplies to be able to make the stuff too. So it's like, um and we know that clicks and likes don't necessarily translate into sales. It helps with exposure and it helps get people introduced to your brand. But our best way of marketing actually is doing tastings at stores and things like that, because that's when people could really interact with it. Because you might see it online. Ange does an amazing job coming up with really cool and funny and original content. Um, and we'd love to have that stuff plaster all over the place. But seeing something online, you might think it's cool and connect with it, but unless you try it and you're there right at the store and you get to meet us and we get to talk about it for a second, a lot of people who like it don't like ketchup, um, traditionally, just because so that's the best way that we like to market ourselves, is in person at tastings and things like that.
Yeah, that's such a great idea. I never thought that before, but of course, like when having those things in stores, like not a lot of sometimes people like look at the product and be like, I'm gonna buy it without tasting it and see if I like it without actually tasting it before you buy it. But of course, when you buy a product, then you might think, oh, this is absolutely horrible. Like, why did I spend $20 on this product for if I didn't like it? You know?
Sure.
But like how do you guys usually kind of make the ketchup? Like is there kind of a kind of process in making it?
Yeah, I mean, that was a big part of uh, the getting set up with the state is you have to have a process written down, a step-by-step process, and how you actually make it, not only to ensure the quality, but to also ensure the safety so that you're meeting certain temperature thresholds, certain time thresholds, and then just being and having a consistent product. Like we started, we were like, oh, we're gonna crush fresh tomatoes and make this down into regular sauce, but it's like, no, that's a nightmare and it takes forever. It's like you start with the concentrate basically, and then you go from there. So it's just a step-by-step process of we use Fermano's tomatoes, which is a Pennsylvania company. So we use that, start out with their paste, and then we use traditional ketchup spices for the most part. We have a little bit of cayenne pepper, so it gives a tiny little bit of heat, just a little kick. Nothing. We don't call it hot. Some people though, we'll watch kids try it, and if it's too hot, right away.
Mhm.
So some people, if you're sensitive to heat, if you're really sensitive to heat, you might not like it, but it's not hot by any stretch of the imagination. So we use all the traditional, uh, but we also use uh, half the sugar and a third of the salt of regular ketchup. And I say
Oh,
regular ketchup, everyone knows what regular ketchup is, but um, you know, half sugar, third of salt.
yeah, like that's not a bad process at all. Like it's like yeah, I'm the type of person that loves a kick to something, whether it's like hot, cold, hot, cold. Like it's there's always a needs a kick for me to actually like something for some reason. There's always needs something to kind of be like, okay, actually need to like these to be. I don't know why, but I'm so picky about foods and everything I eat. So it's always, it has a good taste. Like your ketchup that always needs a boost for me. But why did you guys decide to kind of put the company, kind of probably the best word for it, based out of Pittston, basically?
Well, we're all from Pittston, and Pittston is the tomato quality capital of the world. So, um, with any product, uh, there's a story, and we use the story of Pittston being the tomato quality capital of the world, and then the people, the farmers and the hard work and all the stuff that it actually took to have good tomatoes, and have a quality tomato. Um, it just made the most sense. Like naturally, it was just when I had the idea, I just said it all. I said the Pittston Ketchup Company. It just had a nice ring to it, and it sounded better than the Duryea Ketchup Company, just because Duryea is not known for their tomatoes, even though they probably have some great backyard tomato gardens up there. So I don't want to offend anybody, but you know, it made the most sense for what we were all from Pittston and wanting to do a Pittston-based product. And you know, being Italian too, it's like you would think that tomato sauce would be the most natural thing, but there's so much tomato sauce out there. Um, you know, the idea was ketchup, so that's and Pittston is the only place to do it. So
Yeah, it's kind of the quality Pittston tomato place in the area or in Pennsylvania. It really, well, besides Pittsburgh, but in the eastern part of it, it
yeah,
really is like the only place you really should have it. But
sure.
to go back to the Duryea, I like because of someone who lives in Duryea, I totally agree with that comment. Because Duryea there's not. I would say there's nothing wrong about Duryea, but it's not known for tomatoes. That's
Yeah, oh, right. Yeah, I don't mean to single out Duryea either as Avoca or any of the other patch towns surrounding us. but Pittston, it got the lore because the tomatoes came from all over the place too. They were just shipped out of Pittston, so it wasn't like, um, you know, we have to give the credit to the whole Wyoming Valley. Let's say that. So everybody's happy then, from Hazleton to Carbondale.
Yeah.
But
That's
outside of those areas, we got
there's
some.
not a ton.
No.
There's not a ton. But I know me and you talked about this before we started recording, but are you guys looking to kind of expand the company outside of Pittston, or are you guys kind of, want to just keep it down in Pittston and only in Pittston?
No, we would like to expand to more of like the regionally based markets, because like we talk about social media and stuff. Uh, and as a result of using social media, we do have fans. Of course, everyone's from northeastern Pennsylvania, and at one point they may move or may not. And the people who have moved, love northeastern Pennsylvania. So when they find out something like this, there's the tentacles of northeastern Pennsylvania reach all over the country. So we have people ordering it from all over the place. Um, and we would like to be get into the Lehigh Valley. We have a lot of fans down in the Allentown, Bethlehem area that we would like to make it down to there, and then ultimately into the Philadelphia areas. So we have a lot of fans down in the Philadelphia area, and to get in some of those stores would be nice to be, down there so people could buy it locally, because you can order it online, but how much ketchup do you order online right now? Probably none.
Probably not unless, you like probably
Right,
DoorDash
like,
or something.
yep, unless like you gotta find a specialty thing somewhere, but that goes for everything. You're not ordering mayonnaise and barbecue sauce and all of your other condiments. You buy them at the store. Maybe you get them online every once in a while, but for the most part, people still shop in grocery stores.
Yeah, or even if, because of course with the pandemic, it changed the way people really to be like, oh, I don't want glass knives, so I just got an order from Uber Eats or Walmart, some of those online stores. So it really, COVID did, of course, and change the way people order online and of course shop in person.
Yeah, for sure. They definitely did.
Yeah, so like in your opinion, like when you guys first started a company, like how did kind of like the city of Pittston kind of react to you guys starting the company?
They were fine. We did. I don't know who we asked, but we talked to somebody when we were starting it, or maybe we just had some general advice about. Originally, I think I called it the Pittston City Ketchup Company, um, and somebody gave us the advice to not say city, because we didn't want to confuse people to think that we were actually part of Pittston City in any way or had anything to do with Pittston City. Not that that's a bad thing, but there's Pittston Dental, there's Pittston Apparel. So people use that. It's okay to use the word Pittston in a business name. Now, of course, Pittston stoves, classic stoves. Obviously, they don't manufacture them anymore, but Pittston stoves were really good quality stoves they made at one point in Pittston. So there was like a long history of businesses being called Pittston something, and so we just went with Pittston Ketchup as opposed to Pittston City Ketchup Company. But yeah, the people from the city, they love it. People from Pittston love it. The people who like it, and they buy it. And we've sold enough of it and had enough people taste it right in front of us that we don't mind if people don't like it. Everybody has their own taste. So Pittston City is, they were happy, and I think they continue to be happy, and it puts us on the map maybe a little bit. Gets us into some of these other areas, and people talk about it, and maybe they'll see it somewhere and visit Pittston because of it.
Yeah, like 100% with everything we have down here, like the tomato festival, like your tree lightings, like in of course with the businesses opening up, there's tons of businesses opening up here in Pittston. So of course there's a very good reason to come visit here in Pittston because there's so many things happening. But before we head off, the last thing I have for you is what can we kind of expect from Piston Ketchup in the future? Like, do you guys have anything planned to kind of, expand or kind of have any things in mind that you guys gonna do?
Well, again, since COVID, we used to do a lot of tastings in the stores, and since COVID they kind of stopped doing them, but just recently stores started doing tastings again. So we're going to start doing more of those. We When we first started, we did a lot of craft fairs and things like that where people could try it. That was fun. So we're thinking about doing maybe a holiday market. um, and so just getting out there more so people could try it and meet us, and say hello, and hopefully become fans of it and then buy it. You know,
Yeah, like the more promote, the more things you make it, right?
yeah, right. It's and that's what it's about, and continue to have fun with it too. We all kind of have a timetable that we're working on. It's not something that we're going to do forever for the rest of our lives. It's just something that we're doing now, and just want to continue to do those things. Maybe come out with some new sauces. Might have a couple things in the works. But it's tough. We'll see. We're just still having fun with the ketchup for now, and just look to getting out there and doing more things in the future.
Oh, love it. And so thank you so much for coming on and taking the time to chat about the ketchup. I'll put basically all the social links below for everyone to check it out. I totally recommend buying the ketchup. It's amazing. Totally recommend. I don't know if it's Hint's ketchup for everyone, but it's my opinion better than Hint's ketchup. I know that says a lot, but it is better than that.
Thank you.
But
Appreciate that.
thank you everyone for listening. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their day in this episode. We'll see you guys soon with more episodes. I don't know when that will be, but it'll be soon, hopefully. But thank you so much for coming out taking the time. It was so nice to meet you.
Thanks. Nice to meet you too.
Of course. Have a great rest of your day.
Okay, you too. Bye.